Okay, here is the completed project, Kerfing Plane. I didn't use any sandpaper on this. I wanted to have kind of a rough feeling because it feels pretty good in the hand to be kind of rough. All I did, I used a scraper to get it smooth, basically, to round over the edges and get rid of the tool marks. And then, let's see, I had to add this fence on. I glued that piece onto the fence. This piece right here, you can see the difference in the wood. I glued that on just the other day. And I decided to put these dowels in to make it stronger. So let's see. Because, you know, this wood here, it's not as strong because it's really short. This grain is going in this direction, and it makes it's weaker right here like this. So I put a dowel in to reinforce it. So I was hammering the dowel in place. Let's see, I think it's this one right here. I was hammering this dowel in place, and I hit it, and I hit it a few times, and I hit it, and it felt like, oh, well, that's probably deep enough. But it didn't seem like it was gone in very far, but it felt like it wasn't going to go any further. But I was not, was not, sure. So I kept hitting it. I hit it again and again, and I hit it again, and I hit it again, and then it popped. It split this grain apart right here, and you can kind of see. You can kind of see right there. There's a line right there across there. That's where it opened up. It split it from here up this way, and opened it up right there. I need to get this light over here better. And so I thought, well, look at that. But I had a solution. I just got some glue and I opened it up as much as I could without breaking it apart, and put some glue in there, shoved it in there with basically I had an ice pick. I was pushing it in there with, running it along the edge kind of thing. And I got it full of glue and I just glued it up. And it's you can just see that that's all. I don't feel a thing right there, and it's probably going to be stronger than it was in the first place. So anyhow, that's complete. I used a brace and a brace bit to drill these holes, and it went pretty deep. It went, about this deep. It went pretty deep in there. So then, let's see. I wanted to talk about this wood. This is a real pretty, I think it's a white oak. It's got this chatoyancy in it. This the way that that moves around. That's kind of cool. That's really pretty. And I used a piece of maple for the fence on this side. And this, I thought it was just plain old maple, but this turns out this is some spalted maple. That it's got a lot of spalting in it, which is really kind of pretty. And the piece I added on, at first I thought it was a piece of oak, but then looking at it more closely, I think this is a piece of hickory that I had lying there. And it glued together well though, and it's not going to go anywhere. So let's see, it works pretty good, Get it together. This, and it's got a pretty narrow. It's pretty narrow right there, so about 1/8 of an inch. I could cut some real thin slices off of a piece of wood. If I had a really beautiful piece of wood I wanted to use in numerous things, I could use it like a veneer. Put it on just separate things and use it multiple times. Not the same piece, of course, but anyhow. And then this walnut. I had these are made out of walnut, just for a little bit of contrast. They're really pretty. And I can always replace these at any time, though, So there we go. Kerfing plane. So I found this chunk of maple, and I've already started it. As you can see, I've got these 3 edges already cut, and I put it in the first. At first, I put it up. Actually, I put it up the first one. I put it in like this, really pretty high, and that was not it didn't work as well. So I put it down low. That really worked way better. If I put it down like this. And I found that my design, this rounded part, I'm not quite sure I liked it. The guy that I copied, he had an actual handle that was like this on his, and like you would have on a saw or a plane. And I may not. What I think it needs is like a hook, like you have on a saw handle, a hook right here that to keep your hand from moving. That would be good. You see that it's doing its job. It's a lot easier on this grain, this side. The end grain took actually probably twice as long to do. And the trick is keeping the fence next to the wood. Once you get it going, it basically stays in place though. Kind of jams on itself a little bit sometimes. I'm still learning how to use it. This is like only the 5th time that I've put it on a piece of wood. And it's going to go about a 1/2 inch deep. Almost there. It's just this last little bit on the end here. There we go. See that it meets pretty well right here in the corner.